Welcome back. A brutal attack amid the Israeli counteroffensive on Hamas. More claims that Hamas is preventing Gazans from fleeing south are surfacing. We hear from Gerard Filitti of the Lawfare Project. This pro bono legal service aims to protect the civil and human rights of the Jewish people. Gerard Filitti, thank you for joining us. A Palestinian in Gaza reportedly told the Israeli Defense Forces that Hamas is confiscating people's car keys to prevent Gazans from fleeing areas where Israel is attacking Hamas. What else do we know about these claims?
Well, these are claims that we're hearing repeatedly. We're hearing that the Hamas entity itself is preventing civilians from fleeing the area where combat is expected. Hamas is not allowing civilians, men, women, and children to escape what it is causing as a brutal oppression of its own people. So it's allowing these people essentially to sit and await punishment for the collective crimes that the terrorist organization itself has instilled on so many people. This is what makes them a terrorist organization.
Why would they be doing this?
It's the depravity of terrorism is, I think, beyond the realm of most rational minds. However, I think we all know that they want to play up to the cameras. They want to have those images of wounded or dead children and women to try to show the world that Israel is somehow the aggressor, when the reality is starkly different. The reality is that Hamas itself is causing these deaths of innocent civilians, but they want to score PR points with the world at large, so they hope to have devastating images of civilians affected by their tragic blunders.
And how could that affect the discourse worldwide?
Well, the discourse worldwide has always been on one side or the other. There have been numerous governments, numerous people who decry Israel's aggression whenever they see pictures of wounded Palestinian children or women from Gaza. And this is the problem. They've been waging a PR campaign. Hamas, a terrorist organization, has been waging a PR campaign against civilized nations, protecting their people from unspeakable tragedies. And how this affects the world at large is, I think, that now finally we're starting to see Hamas for what it is, and they're the organization that is brutalizing its own people.
Has Hamas used this sort of PR tactic, as you're calling it, in previous conflicts with Israel?
Many, many times. Their goal is to shock the world and try to portray Israel as some kind of an aggressor, when what we're really seeing are targeted strikes by the IDF, by the Israeli government, against military targets, against rocket launchers, against terrorist command structures, against communication hubs. The reality, though, is that Hamas likes to hide these things among people because they do hope that civilians will be injured and killed, and then they can cry that they are the victims and blame Israel, who they attack constantly, for aggression, when this is what the reality is Hamas are terrorists. They are the ones who are basically keeping their own people prisoner.
Wow, that's just shocking. Anti-Israeli voices claim Israel is committing genocide, as I'm sure you're aware, against Palestinians. Explain why.
Well, genocide is the deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular ethnic group with the aim of wiping them out. Israel has no aim of wiping anyone out. It's defending its civilians from the terrorist attacks that we saw just last Saturday. This has been the pattern that's been playing itself out over the last 20, 30 years. The reality is quite the opposite. It's Hamas that is looking to inflict genocide on the Jewish people. And I say Jewish people, not just Israel, because we see these protests in the West. We see violent attacks. We saw a stabbing in France. We're seeing physical violence in America as well. This is targeting Jews as an ethnic people. What we're seeing is Hamas trying to commit genocide against Jews, not the other way around.
And you're talking about anti-Semitic incidents. We do know that the Anti-Defamation League says anti-Semitic incidents in the U.S. have spiked 300% year over year after the Hamas attack on Israel. What needs to be done to keep these incidents in check?
Well, first, we need a shift in understanding. We need to stop looking at the Palestinian people as victims. The reality is we are all victims of terrorist atrocities. And the sooner we understand that, and the sooner we start imposing consequences on people who are marching on city streets, crying the battle cry of Hamas from the river to the sea, or demanding that they globalize the Intifada, globalize the violence that we're seeing in Israel, the sooner we impose consequences, social, political, legal, on this behavior, the sooner we can tamp down on terrorism and anti-Semitism.
All right, Gerard Filitti, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.